Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Today we are going to test out a brand new tool that e.l.f. released during their 30 days of new in September called dual-sided silicone blender. So what it is basically like a silicone sponge with a velvet on the back side, and what they claim is that you can use the silicone side to kind of apply and spread the product, and then use the velvet side to buff out any imperfections. It retails for $6. I feel like e.l.f. has kind of increased their prices recently. They are still in the affordable range, but $6 for a silicone sponge, I don't know how I feel about it. But we are going to test this one out, and we are going to compare it to our $1 Wonder Jelly blender by AOA Studio to see if they are any different, because according to me, if it's just like a silicone jelly thingy, how different can they be? On the back side, they do recommend that you use only half of your usual amount of liquid. Gently swipe the product across the face and then bounce the silicone blender to even out the applications. And the back side, well, they call it the flocked side, is used to buff out imperfection. To clean, simply wash with mild soap and water. So let's test this baby out and see if it is one of the wonderful magical things that I want it to be. For this video, I'm using the Laura Geller Spackle Treatment Primer. On this half of the face, I'm going to use this new sponge, whereas on this side, I'm going to use my usual tools, which is this brush and my fingers. See that I have to apply half the usual amount directly to the sponge. Swipe on. Then balance the silicone blender to even out application. Use the flock side to buff to perfection. Okay. So right away, the crease is becoming problematic. The foundation is getting stuck in there, and then when I try to kind of apply it, it comes off when I don't want it to. So that's a problem. I guess that side should have been, the edges should have been seamless. So the half amount kind of didn't go very far. I'm gonna take another, or you can say this is a full pump almost. Okay, that might be too much, but. So right away, the edge is actually creating a lot of problems for me. First of all, I'm afraid that it's going to kind of poke me, and part of it is getting stuck in the seam. I'm going to use the soft side to buff imperfections. That is kind of working out like how the brushes of the bristle work. Now I'm going to use my shape tape with my AOA Studio $1 silicone sponge. I could use the tip, which is like nice and smooth, to kind of pat it in, but because of the edge, so this is my AOA jelly sponge, and this one has a rim too, but this is like soft silicone. With this one, because of this backing, this has become kind of hard. So this is so much easier in terms of like pushing the product in around my eyes. Like I feel safe doing that. Whereas with this, I'm slightly worried, and basically I can pretty much say that it's not meant for those areas. Now let me go to that side. I'm going to do my usual way, which is just a little pump on the back of my hand. And this is actually lesser amount than what I took on the other side. I prefer to smear it a little bit first so that it doesn't get picked up the sponge, and then I just kind of buff it up. Somehow this side looks more matte, and I don't know why. Let me put the shape tape on, and I usually just press it in with my ring finger. And then just go over with my brush, only for shape tape, because I feel like it's a little bit heavier. Okay, let me zoom you guys in, and let me look at myself in a 5x mirror. And by the way, this is a tip for all of you young guys out there. Nobody looks at your face this up close. It's only you. If there's anyone who's criticizing your face by looking this close at you, you better run from that person, because they're just wrong. Okay, But anyway, since we are critiquing the product, we are going to look, and I am not noticing, you know, any difference, like a major difference. Let me go back to the normal mirror. It's like making my eyes squint. So the only thing I'm noticing is, you know, here I have less of a product. Now I don't know if I just put less product there to begin with. Under my eyes also, I feel like I have less of product on this side. I want to kind of hide this spot right there. So I'm going to put shape tip there and there. And now this time I want to try using the AOA Studio Wonder Blender on one side and see if that is, and the stabbing begins. So this one is definitely giving me more coverage than my fingers for sure, because this is literally just kind of pressing the product in, and I'm pretty much expecting the same from this. I have lesser product here because I have less area to conceal on this side. So I don't know, it's because of the backing or just the difference in the silicones. This one is more squishy and bouncy. This one is a little bit more firmer in texture. If I fold it, you know, it's kind of more comfortable to use. It makes me mentally more comfortable to use the sponge. I do feel like this applied the concealer better than my bare fingers. I feel like there's a lot more product up here than it is on this side, and this side feels more kind of comfortable. Not feels. This side looks more comfortable. I do feel like I have slight more coverage on this side. Can you guys see any difference with me? I'm checking in the viewfinder if you guys... I added less product on this side compared to that side. Let me add a little bit more and buff that in. So I'm just taking my foundation to my under eye region here because I felt like I didn't have enough coverage over there, and that's what I usually do. So I'm gonna buff now everything. It's very difficult for me to kind of keep the application separate because I'm just like done. I have no idea why, but I feel like this side is more matte and this side is more dewy. But in terms of coverage, you know, I'm somehow liking this side. I don't know why. I'm gonna try going on top of this side and see if that makes a difference. It is somehow making the foundation look more matte. And where is my mic? Okay. I apologize if you don't hear me well this whole time. But anyways, so somehow the Silicone blender is making the foundation look more matte, and it might be because it's kind of taking away any strokes from the brush. Yeah, I feel like I would not mind doing this as a last step before I powder my face, just because of the way it's looking. Whereas when it comes to like this side, I don't know if it's doing anything, and this $1 silicone thing is pretty much giving me the same effect. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup and we'll talk more about these things. So my final verdict is that I don't think it performs any differently from this jelly blender. The velvet side is nice, but I'm kind of worried that it's going to get like super dirty, like look super dirty. It doesn't, which is pretty surprising. My usual go-to tool for applying my foundation is my toothbrush style brush, which I seem to have misplaced at this very moment. But when comparing to this one, I felt like the brush was a little bit more drying in terms of like dragging the product on my face. And this was a teensy bit, not so much. Another difference I did notice is that my brush side looked more dewy and this one looked more matte. And that might have to do a little bit with when you kind of press it, it makes everything a little bit more buffed out, and that could be it. I like the fact that it's easy to clean, but I do not like this little seam on it. That is because it has this second side on it, and that feels very uncomfortable if I'm like going around my eyes, that I'm gonna poke my eye given my reputation. But yeah, that's what I feel about it. I'm going to try and put it to use in my daily routine. Maybe after I'm done with my brush application, I might just go with the silicone side and kind of press it down. I didn't really find any advantage of the, what is it called? What do they call it? Flocked side, honestly. And in that sense, I think this performs just as well as this one. This is $1. This is $6. The edge on this Wonder Jelly blender is softer, so I feel very comfortable going around my eye area, and actually I think that does a great job if I want to press in some product. But I have to say, just comparing this with my fingers that I usually use to kind of push in my concealer, I felt like the eye that I applied this with looked like it had less product on it. There was less creasing of the product under my eyes, and overall I felt like it did look better. So it might be a good idea to kind of start using a silicone blender for under eye area blending. Yeah, those are my thoughts on this dual-sided silicone blender by e.l.f. I would say pass it, get their, they have these new silicone blenders in their active line. Those are probably better. And yeah, I like e.l.f, but this is not for me. All right. I hope you guys like this review. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you consider subscribing before you leave. And if you hit that bell right next to the subscribe button, you will be notified of my future videos. Thanks again for watching. Bye.